as the magic about stevia and what it does for the human body, okay, gains momentum, and people are jumping on board daily. As it grows, this little infomercial right here is going to get more popular as time goes on. Believe it. Earth is about 50% dead, people. Maybe mid to low 40s, because that's about how much of what looks like water but isn't water is actually out there. Okay, we've been pouring shit down the sink and the drains for a long time. It's catching up with us big time. But life as humans know it is about to change forever. Okay, now take a minute to think about this, because the signs are all there, aren't they? Water's getting scarcer, yet the polar ice caps are melting. Bumblebees, okay, they're vanishing by the millions, and without them, Earth's ecosystem crashes. Things are getting smoggier and more toxic daily, okay, and the elite of this world want it that way, because someone took evil action and flagged me when I did absolutely nothing contrary to the rules, and you two bought it and didn't even investigate to learn the truth. Poet Warrior 41 with 2 R's is gone forever. Vanishing 1 R was easier than actually choosing Maitreya. Okay, someone already has that, but I'm positive that with enough money, I could probably buy that for $1 million down the road. Don't you think? Okay? Now wake up, people. You've been living a dream. For too many, a nightmare, because they're poor, hungry, and cold. Especially when this planet could produce so much that we'd have a surplus of everything if nature were actually allowed to flourish. Wake up. Do you really think the evil elite who basically own this planet are doing a good job of running it? Now, if you were going to give them a grade, what would it be? Exactly. Okay, they'd have fail written all over their foreheads and their faces, when the tragic irony, okay, the tragic irony is that they just on purpose caused a global money meltdown failure that's going to cause tragedies, okay, for you and me and everybody we know and all over this planet for a long time. Now, in the past, Mark Brannon was a friend of mine. He was played by Mel Gibson in Tequila Sunrise, and the first time I ever met him, he had just been released from federal prison on tax evasion charges. He was big time, okay? Big time money. And if he had actually signed contracts paying millions of dollars in supposedly legal transactions that really weren't, do you think the government would actually honor anything he fucking did or paid? No, not likely. Should the elite who ran this country and the auto industry especially into the ground on purpose or through sheer stupidity and even worse be rewarded and compensated for it? Or should that money be returned, okay? Now, if you're a blue blood POS and you know Japanese are outselling American cars because gas is getting expensive, should you get hundreds of millions of dollars for choosing to make dinosaurs that run off them? No, you should get fired, perhaps put in prison for collusion. But if your last name's Bush, you can actually run for president and fuck the world while you're fucking that gay prostitute who went to the White House, what, nearly 100 times, and certainly wasn't servicing the women who weren't getting serviced, okay? The Democratic National Committee should be summarily fired. I would have made a video showing George Jr. at family functions, not getting along, blowing up frogs with firecrackers up their asses, and then him in the White House, frog in one hand, button near the other, okay? Would have fucked them from the start. Would have snagged too many votes for them to steal it 2 times in a row like they did. And I'm wondering when you, okay, part of the walking zombies, are actually going to wake up, okay, and wake up from this nightmare that humanity's been living for too long. Earth shouldn't be like this, people. Several thousand years ago, women, like female lions, they were in charge of the human herd, okay? You'd think they would have ever allowed themselves to become childbearing sex slaves to men who are often who too often are ogres and not gentle or kind? Have you heard that new scientific evidence suggests that pyramids in Egypt were poured? Oh yeah, okay. Ever think that alien-looking shit inside them was just that, alien shit? Especially since modern technology couldn't even come close now. Now, I'd like to meet the Marmalukes, okay, who posited that they actually cut, sanded, and levered all those stones into perfect position, okay? Probably the same Einsteins who say that democracy and capitalism can survive together when they are in fact diametrically opposed. Capitalism is economic slavery 101. He with the most gold rules, okay? You take out government, which should be by the people and for the people to protect us from assholes like them, okay? And if you don't do that, you have fascism, okay? That's when the Exxons, the Walmarts, they start owning politicians, and everything that's there dries up and vanishes, like what happened now, okay? That's exactly what Hemingway was writing about in For Whom the Bell Tolls. He was a socialist. In fact, Think about how many heroes we have that are socialists. Jesus comes to mind, as does his anger, okay? As does his anger in the bank and his desire to feed everyone who is hungry, and ask yourself if you would ever approve of life in America as it is today. If he would have freely given his life so you could rape, rob, and murder for an entire lifetime, but gain access to heaven just by saying you believe in him? With a Bible that makes women the childbearing helpers, read slaves of men, women not as equals in the big book, and men basically commanded to subdue the earth, not work in harmony with nature to preserve it forever, okay? To use money and toxins from oil to both power earth and replace the volume of water that's lost until it's nearly 50% gone. Internal combustion engines were designed to kill earth, as was cell phone technology. If 2 phones can cook an egg, billions will cause the same number of bees to vanish from this planet. The only thing that isn't vanishing is humans. If 13 colonies have gone 300 million strong in 200 years, can you imagine the traffic and smog problems when our grandkids have grandkids? Earth's not going to last that long, people, because America's need for more will kill it long before that ever happens. The ancient prophecies, 2012, 2 years ago, I told Cal Worsham that I'd been touched by God, led to stevia as both a cure and cold vision for Earth, that they'd one day call me Maitreya, and when I made pure H2O, I was losing about 33% total volume of water, meaning about 33% of what looked like water wasn't, okay? Don't believe me? Keep pouring toxic shit that'll eventually kill this planet down the drains by the billions, and ask yourself why they haven't already caused water levels to rise dangerously. Refer back to how many times you filled your gas tank, which your engine then burns into power and vanishes. Petroleum gas, 14 hydrogens from water attached to 6 carbons from oil that explode and vaporize them into power from the spark of a plug. There is no equal return back into Earth of what we use for power or things. I charge that the elite of this planet are using devices to kill it, okay? The elite have never acted like they were human, have never been nice, and until now there was never anything that you, me, we can do about it, all right? Stevia can change that if you listen, believe, and take action. You and your family, okay, have never had to be fat or sick pretty much ever again. Stevia replacing all toxic sweets is like Moses sweeping fat and tumors away, like magic, okay, like the man-made, on-purpose plagues that they are. And like magic, a meltdown all over America as fat starts to vanish and become a thing of the past. Healthcare costs vanish, billions are freed for other needs, and America's almost immediately out of a money jam. Along this journey, a scientist will eventually blend stevia and water, see water magically morph into what can make petroleum and all wars for it superfluous. Split H2O natural gasoline that could take us into the stars if we're ever allowed to leave this planet. And then you'll see soap float at the end of the blend. No getting all of that toxic shit out of my waters, giving me the ability to pretend that I'm 20 years old when I'm punching. All 40-year-olds will be able to follow me by using stevia and pure H2O. Eventually, pure H2O's validation and bringing bodies back to perfect will lead to billions, and I will use this money to feed the hungry and homeless all over Earth as I also start companies that profit share back to employees all over planet Earth. The stampede for stevia has already begun, but not nearly fast enough. Don Fry, Josh Barnett, any famous fighter who wants to get rich and even more famous quickly. So think about that infamous fountain of youth, how much it'd be worth if you could bottle it up and then sell it. No, that's what pure H2O is, and my punches vanishing as they render will hopefully be enough to get this famous in time.